hopefully you can hear me over the sound of the water. So it is currently 6:30 a.m. in Rome and I am at Trevi Fountain, and there is already a small crowd here, but at least you can get closer to the fountain if you come really early in the morning. I've been here in the afternoon and it's been so crowded that you can't get down to the bottom level. So if you're thinking of coming to Trevi when traveling in Rome, definitely come first thing in the morning. It's also nice and cool here. So I'll turn you around so you can have a bit of a look. So this morning I'm on my way to St. Peter's Basilica. I've got a tour book. Unfortunately, it's not a skip the line, so I don't know how long we'll have to wait, but it does start at 7:45, so I'm hoping it won't be too nuts. I have just walked from my hotel the half hour to get to Trevi Fountain because I wanted to get there early. To be fair, it is the second time I've been early in the morning and it's always really busy, but at least I can get down towards the fountain if I go early. And it's such a beautiful spot. I thought I'd already seen it. There's no point in going back, but I really wanted to go back. So that's what I did this morning, and then it's another half hour walk to get to the meeting place for the tour. I mean, I can take public transport, even though it's a bit more of a rush when you're walking. I just see so much more, and I can stop and take a video or take a photo or something. So that's where I'm headed now. Hopefully there's a coffee shop because I haven't had a coffee yet and I really need one, and I'll grab something to eat as well at the bar, hopefully, if I can find a place. And then on to our tour. Thank goodness for Google Maps, otherwise I would be lost. And I apologise if I always sound out of breath, but I'm always walking as quickly as possible to get there as soon as possible, but also to burn off all the carbs that I've eaten in the past 3 days and 3 weeks, let's be honest.
No, perché sembra che
Oh my God. So I just did the climb to the top of the dome at the Basilica. It was a gazillion steps. I really need to work on my cardiovascular health. Was it worth it? Yes, it was. I mean, look at that view. Seriously, I am in awe. I don't get emotional often, but this is just phenomenal. I'll turn you around so you can have a little bit of a view. However, there are quite a few bars, so you'll have to excuse that. I'll do the best I can. Okay, so our tour is finished. It was nearly 3 hours. The tour guide was absolutely amazing. Honestly, he was fantastic. It was one of the best guides that I've had throughout my entire European holiday. So I am still in St. Peter's Basilica, and I have taken lots of footage, which of course I'm going to share. However, none of my videos or my photos could do this building justice. It is so beautiful. I have been moved so many times through my travels in Europe, but this one, there's just no words to describe the beauty of it. The gorgeous mosaics, the diamonds on the crown of the Holy Mary. It is just the sacristy, everything. I have no words. I have no words. So I hope that some of my images and footage give you an indication of the absolute beauty of this building. I know, I'm not a travel vlogger. I don't even know what to say. I think that I will wander around a little bit more so you can see a little bit more. I am also extremely glad that I did the 7:45 tour. So we met at 7:30. We were given a croissant and a coffee, which was my second croissant and coffee of the day. Yes, I know. Anyway, I'm glad we got here early because it wasn't actually a skip the line tour. I didn't realise until too late, but it was so quiet here this morning. So we got through everything really quickly. So there weren't really any lineups. We had to go through security, of course, similar to airport and most of the other places that I've been in Rome. But everything was really quick. We went up to the top of the dome. I've just been also into the catacombs, which only took 5 minutes. It was really interesting. But then there isn't a spot in this place that isn't interesting. We got to also come through the Holy Door, which is only open during the Jubilee, so every 25 years. So at the end of 2025 or the beginning of 2026, that door will again be closed. So we were very lucky to get to go through that. So it's nice, something like, when things work out really well. Yeah, so my personal opinion is if you're intending to come to Rome and do the St. Peter's Basilica tour, always try and book the earliest tours possible for every single visit that you do, just to make the lines a little bit better, especially if you're travelling in the summer, so you're not out in that heat of the day. Luckily, today is quite mild, so yeah, it's all working out for my second last day. I leave tomorrow. I'm so sad. Guess we need to move on to the next thing. So everyone that I spoke to or on YouTube or whatever said that this place needed to be tried for their focaccia. It's El Antico Vineo, and I think it's near the Pantheon. I got there, I think, just after opening. There was a crowd, but it wasn't too bad and the lines moved really fast. I couldn't download the English version of their menu for some reason. It kept erroring out, but I did ask the lady for a recommendation. She did recommend something, and it was basically pistachio and mortadella and something else. It didn't sound very appetizing, so I've gone for the Italiana. Honestly, look at the size of this thing. And it's prosciutto, mortadella, pesto, and fresh tomatoes. But I had to try one before I left, so here goes. That wasn't too bad. However, was it the best? I don't think so. The bread was really fresh. It was all very fresh, but there wasn't enough mozzarella on there. And the tomatoes all seemed to be up one end of the focaccia, not spread throughout. Was it worth €12? Probably not. Why do they have such a great reputation? I don't know. I think I bought one the other day that was just as good, a little bit smaller, and it was only €5. But I've tried it now. I did eat the whole thing. I was starving. It is 12:15 now, and I haven't eaten since about 7:30, and I've done nearly 15,000 steps. So, and for some reason, my appetite has been huge here. I wonder if I've got room for pizza at 4 o'clock before dinner. I don't speak Italian.
This is for basil. Pesto basil is the best.
So I've just dropped by the Campo di Fiore markets because it was close to where I got my focaccia, and it's close to the Pantheon as well. And it's only a small market, but they've got things like pasta, fresh fruit and vegetables, the usual souvenir stuff, limoncello, all sorts of things here, jewellery, your usual market stuff. It's all undercover, which is nice, out of the hot sun. And I think it runs from about 9 until 2 in the afternoon every day. So it's worth having a look if you have gone and got your focaccia and you're in the area. It's definitely worth stopping by and having a look at some of the local produce. And the fruit and veg here actually looks really good. And they do fresh juice as well if you're interested in a fresh juice. Just beware, the stall holders and the restaurants that line the area are quite pushy. And I'm guessing because of the way that the restaurants are set out, they're kind of tourist traps. I really love the little, I guess we would call them like a deli setup, where you can get wines and fresh cheeses and sliced meats. So I've just wandered into the Pantheon, which is kind of in the centre, so in between like the Campo di Fiore and also the sandwich place. I've just passed it a million times. I've taken photos of the outside and I've not come inside. It was only €5 to get in, and I could buy my ticket at the door, and it's really worth having a look at. It's another beautiful building with the domed ceiling and the columns and all the monuments and statues around. It'll only take you a few minutes, but it's, I think, my personal opinion, it's worth the €5. It's a beautiful, beautiful historical monument within the heart of Rome. It's still quite busy, as you can see, and I think a lot of people actually come in because it is a beautiful place, but there's also seating in the pews and it's quite cool in here. It's crowded, but it's not crazy. And because it's right in the centre, it's easy for people to get to as they go from the sandwich place or restaurant to my favourite gelati place in Rome, which is probably where we'll head to next. There is also an audio guide that you can pick up. There's some signs around for you to read about the building. You can also get a map, but I think you have to pay for the map. But I believe the audio guide is included in the €5. You can also do a tour here, so you can have a tour guide talking you through everything. But if you're willing to read everything, I don't think that you need that. But I'm an advocate for guides because I like the information that they have to share, and they're so knowledgeable and passionate for the majority of the time that you can get some really good information. So sometimes it's worth just paying the extra and having the guide if you're not sure about something. Having been spending some time today walking around Rome, just wandering into side streets and just wasting time on people watching, I think what a lot of videos fail to mention, they talk about the monuments and the main tourist spots, is the amount of art shops and antique shops that are in Rome, and they are such beautiful quality. I can't go inside because I don't want to be chased out. but there are some really beautiful boutiques around, and if you're really into antiques and unusual items, you can find them here. I have found stores with the most amazing door knockers and tapware and statuettes, like not the mass-produced garbage that you find in every souvenir shop, but really authentic, original items. So you can always find something that, you know, as a souvenir, as a reminder of your time overseas without having to fall into that whole, you know, mass-produced, a lot of it made in China stuff. So I did wander into a couple of stores and ask if I could film a little bit, and I was given a very polite no. I did try, such is my commitment to this channel. There is also a really big amount of leather stores in Rome, shoes and particularly handbags on every corner. There's thousands of them, and I have to say, even with the conversion rate, the leather here is extremely cheap and it's a really nice quality, and the majority of items are actually made right here in Italy, so they're really worth checking out. I wish I could take back a suitcase full, but alas, you got to stop somewhere. So one of the things that I really like about Rome in particular, similar to Paris, Rome have their piazzas whereby Paris have their parks. The piazzas in Rome are truly breathtaking. So I'm currently in Piazza Navona. There are restaurants and gift stores all around the perimeter. It's teeming with people, not just tourists, but locals as well. So it's a great place to come and sit and rest your tired feet and grab yourself a drink or a gelati. You can get even a beer here and sit out in a piazza, get yourself something to eat and just chill and people watch. The people watching here is fantastic. I absolutely love it. People think that I'm recording them and it's facing me. So in the Piazza Navona, there are actually 3 separate water features, the main one in the center and then one on either side. They are all different, they are all beautiful. I've got some footage from last night as well. I dropped by in the evening to have a look, and again, it was so busy here. There are also artists here painting caricatures, or there are oil on canvases for sale of the local monuments. However, they are extremely expensive. They're very nice, but they are very expensive. They have similar in Paris as well, I noticed, but there is a substantial difference in the price, whereby here they're about 150 euros. In Paris, you could pick up an oil on canvas from a local artist for about 50 to 60 euros. And just quietly, I think the Parisian ones were much nicer. But that's just my personal opinion. But if you're heading to Italy, Piazza Navona in Rome is definitely worth a visit. It is absolutely stunning here. So now I'm just going to enjoy my iced coffee and do a little bit of people watching before I head back to the hotel. Something else for me to try. That is so friggin' good. So I decided for my last night in Rome that I want to try tonarello, which is in Trastevere. It's apparently the best pasta in Rome. It is 7 o'clock at night and there is a lineup, but I've been advised it's about 15 minutes. But I really want to try this restaurant, so I'm happy to wait. So it was actually less than a 5-minute wait, which is awesome. And I got a seat outside so I can do my much loved favourite hobby of people watching. It is a big menu, so now I need to decide what to eat. I really wanted to try the amatriciana bowl. as an entree, but the waiter did say to me that it's quite a big serve, so I'm not having that. But I did order a pasta, a matriciana, and a little bit of bread on the side. It doesn't come with bread. Most places offer bread. That's very strange. But anyway, and I've got an Aperol Spritz to start with. So cheers for my last night in Rome. Very sad to be leaving. What do you do? Back to London tomorrow afternoon. The pasta's pretty good, but I'd wish I'd gone the gaucho pepe as opposed to a tomato-based sauce. But it's not bad. I think the pasta I had the other night was much better. The bread is very good. With a focaccia with oil and rosemary. Okay, so dinner is finished now. I couldn't eat all the focaccia, it was too much. I finished all the pasta. Was it the best pasta I've ever had? I'm sorry, I don't know how they boast the best pasta in Rome. The pasta I had the other night was much better, in my opinion. It had too much salt, not enough pepper. A lady came over and asked me how I was enjoying everything, and I said it was good, but if I could have a bit more cheese, which she was quite accommodating, and then I could see her waving her hands around with the waiter, so they weren't happy that I'd asked for something. I don't know, service here isn't like it is in Australia. I don't know if we're just a bit spoiled, but anyway, I was going to have dessert here. They've got a tiramisu. I'm seeing the cheesecake come out quite a bit, and they've also got panna cotta. But I don't know, maybe I'll walk around and see if there's somewhere else for dessert, or the fact that I've got a seat, consider myself lucky and just stay here. So I decided to stay here for dessert, and based on the waiter's recommendation, I'm going to have the tiramisu. Apparently it's the second best in Rome, and when I asked who the best was, he said it was his mum's. So it better be good. Pretty good. Okay, so dinner is done. I've had my tiramisu. The bill was 39 euros, which is about 75 Australian dollars. Was it worth it? In a word, no. I think that the pasta I had the other night was much better. Plus they bought me bread, whereas here I had to pay additional for bread. Yes, I did have the dessert. The tiramisu was really, really nice, but the pasta was average. I don't know how come they've got a reputation for being the best pasta in Rome, because I was a little bit disappointed, and I'm disappointed that that was what I chose for the restaurant for my last night in Rome, when I could have gone elsewhere and got a much nicer pasta. But who am I to judge? I love pasta. Yeah, I consider myself a bit of an expert, and that was not great. But it is what it is. That's what I've had now. Now I'm just going to walk a little bit around Trastevere. It's a really nice area. There's always a lot going on at night. It's 5 minutes walk from my hotel. So if you decide to come to Rome, this is a really good area. But keep in mind, it is about half an hour walk from all the major attractions. You can get much closer. When Mum and Dad came, they stayed near the Spanish Steps, which they loved. And a family that I spoke to yesterday were also staying near the Spanish Steps. However, when I looked into the rates on the hotel that Mum and Dad stayed at, they had paid about 1,300 Australian dollars for the week, whereas when I looked at it, it was like $1,300 a night, and I wasn't willing to do that. My hotel is very nice. I feel completely safe and comfortable there. However, keeping in mind, there was no kettle in the room, so I couldn't even have a cup of coffee in the morning. But I'm just going to wander around now.
Hey, good evening from Rome.
So it's pretty dark out now, so I don't know if you can even see me properly. Sadly, I don't have my little light, so I'm going to move here under a street light, and it looks like Another night, another movie. So I've been walking around for a couple of hours. It's just before 10. I decided to go for a big walk after dinner, and as I've come back through Trastevere, which is extremely busy, and people are still out and they're still eating and hanging out. There's another movie, there was one last night. They're quite old movies, I don't even really know what they are, but I don't think it's so much about the movie itself. I think it's about building community and just hanging out with each other. The Romans seem really focused on fostering relationships and just being together, which is so different to how we are in Australia. Usually, I mean, it is Friday night here, but it's been like that every night I've been here. Whereas even on a Friday night in Adelaide, I think everyone's tucked up in bed before 10. But here they just seem to go until quite early hours of the morning. And I don't know. Like, for an introvert, I don't know how I'd cope living in that sort of environment. But it might be good for somebody like me. I mean, seriously, people have got deck chairs out. You could bring your snacks and some drinks or something, and just, even if you're on your own, you could definitely sit here. The weather's really mild at night, so... But anyway, I think I'll head back to the hotel room now. I have to pack up, ready for checkout tomorrow. Yeah, and that's it. This is my last night in Rome. Very sad. Good morning. Today is my last morning in Rome. I leave at 4:20 is my flight, and I have to catch the taxi at 1 o'clock to get to the airport. It's currently 8 o'clock, and I've just stopped at Cafe Trastevere, which has really good reviews. And the lady inside just told me that it's the best cappuccino in Rome. And I couldn't stand at the bar, which is tradition because it was quite crowded. But I also grabbed this Danish. It's got honey and nuts in it. I've seen everybody eating them, so I really wanted to try one. That is really good, and it's still slightly warm. Okay, so I finished my pastry and my coffee. Not a lot opens in Rome, particularly on a Saturday, early in the morning, so I'm just wandering around, taking in the last few sights. Yeah, and enjoying my last few hours here. Sad. So I thought I'd be young and trendy and try one of those lime scooter things. Did not go well, clearly. Anyway, that's the Pantheon behind me. I'll show you the line, and it's not even 8:30 in the morning yet. They must open at 8:30 on a Saturday. Oh no, it must be 9 o'clock. It's 20 to 9 now, so there's already a line up. It's a beautiful morning to be out though, but I'm gonna keep moving. There are quite a few people around this morning. I just walked past Fontana di Trevi, and it's again already packed there, but it is a little bit later than yesterday as well. But there are markets setting up, stores opening, cafes opening. I think a lot of the stores don't open until about 9:30, 10 o'clock. But then there's some small independents that are already open. A lot of the bars are open, especially the patisseries, where people go and get their morning coffee and pastry. Rome has a really, really good vibe. I'm so sad to be leaving. I keep saying it, but it's true. I still need to use Google Maps. Even though I've been here 4 days, I have no sense of direction. I am now headed back towards the hotel in Trastevere. I could probably hang out here for a little bit longer. I've got the time, but I know myself, I'll get distracted a million times on my way back. So best to head back a little bit early. It's 11:15. I will stop for lunch at 12 and then head back towards the hotel for the taxi to pick me up. Listen to that crunch. Just finished my pizza and headed back to the hotel now because the taxi will be there in less than half an hour and I want to make sure that I'm not too far away. Pizza was really good. Bases here are really, really thin and crunchy. The potato was a bit average net, but my favourite was definitely the mushroom and cheese, and the margarita was okay. Trastevere is quite a bit quieter than it was last night. It's 12:30 in the afternoon now, so there is a market going on, but it's not like it is at night time around here. It just goes nuts.